The Zen Doctor with Dr Stephen Simpson.
Hi, my name's Dr. Steve Simpson. Thanks for finding my podcast channel. I work as an elite performance mind coach, which means, just in case this is a surprise for you, that I work with people just like you. Because through my experience and all the people I've worked with, I'm just convinced that we're all capable of a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. I mentioned in the last episode that intuition was our greatest gift and introduced my fantasy football team. I was facing a tough fixture and was going to pick my best players for this important game. It was a brave, some felt foolish, decision to drop Mr. Creativity. He certainly has a great record of proven success. But he's not smart enough to know that he owes just about everything to his teammate, Mr. Intuition, without which there is nothing. The Oxford English Dictionary of Intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. Can you remember the definitions of psychic and psychoic? I'll remind you. A psychic is a person who appears to have powers of telepathy. And this is my definition of the psychoic state. The psychoic state of mind is the sweet spot of peak performance that makes people lucky and lives somewhere deep in our reptile brain, somewhere between the psychotic and the psychic states of mind. I could have called this psychoic state of mind intuition, but it's not an exact fit because whilst the psychic state and intuition are closely related, the psychoic state also incorporates some positive elements of the psychotic state. Such elements include the abstract pictures, sounds, and other sensory bundles of information that are powerful tools to boost creativity. Psychosis is a spectrum, and at the extreme end of the arc is dangerously close to insanity. Psychologist Carl Jung considered schizophrenia to be a result of a close connection to our shared collective unconscious without the smoothing influence of the ego. Suffice it to say at this point that a little sensory psychosis is valuable as part of the creative process, but a little too much is by far too much. The experts are also baffled by intuition and its origin. Some believe that intuitive thoughts arise from the unconscious mind based on previous experience. Others think that it's an instinct arising from the reptile brain. Carl Jung presumably believed that these thoughts arise from our collective unconscious. It doesn't matter which model we choose, as long as we know that intuition is there to guide us when we need it most. I mentioned in the previous episode that just about every culture and religion through the ages has valued intuition. The Hindus believe that it's knowledge that comes from outside ourselves. Others believe that intuition comes from God, is the source of all creation, a mystical result of spiritual awakening, and the ultimate goal of mankind. I guess this is much the same as Jung's individuation journey to meet the self and the divine. Everybody will have their own position on where and how intuition works. One thing that most, if not all people can agree on is that intuition is hugely important. Intuition formed an important part of Jung's work, and he referred to it as perception via the unconscious. Never one too shy to take his thoughts to the next level, he subdivided intuitive people into extroverts and introverts. The extroverts were often entrepreneurs, speculators, and cultural revolutionaries. The introverts were more likely to be mystics, prophets, or, dare I say it, cranks. Do you recognize yourself in any of these descriptions? What we can be sure of is that many people rely heavily on their intuition and are convinced it works for them. They value their hunches. They can't explain why they are convinced a suspect is carrying a gun, why the price of gold will rise, or the poker player is bluffing, but they've all learnt to trust their instincts. It can literally save their life. Perhaps it's advanced pattern recognition resulting from years of experience. Who knows and who cares? If it works for them, that's enough. The unique quality that makes intuition such a priceless gift is that it is a mental processing shortcut that bypasses the usual filters and mental processes and leaps directly from the problem to the solution. It avoids the what if ... fill this space traps that our conscious mind is fond of creating. There's a time and a place for the what if questions, but not before the creative process has reached its conclusion. Only then is the time to conduct your risk analysis, evaluate the risk-reward ratio, and be sure that your conclusion was truly intuitive rather than just wishful thinking. As you might expect, I talk a lot about intuition with my clients, but surprisingly little about how and where to find it. The reason is that I don't need to. If we've taken care of our mind, body and soul, got them more or less in balance, we don't need to be perfect, then intuition will always be working in the background. Just like our heart, which continues to beat without any conscious effort on our part. As long as we know intuition is there for us, it's enough. This thought should bring you great comfort, just as some take comfort from knowing that God or the collective unconscious is always there to draw upon when needed most. The next episodes will be a review of the series, during which I will share some closing comments about the subjects that we've already covered. It will be a review of what I believe to be the most important nuggets and will definitely include further thoughts about intuition. I will also share some final suggestions about how to attract even more luck into your life should you need it. If you have good luck, then you don't need much else. In the meantime, have a lucky week, and remember that just as your heart is beating, so intuition is always working in the background for you. Watch and wait for the hints that will surface. A bit of gentle meditation always helps. Why not give it a go? More next week.
If you have enjoyed the Zen Doctor with Dr. Stephen Simpson, then why not hit the subscribe button? The music, The Soul of the Shaman, was specially composed for the Zen Doctor.
To find out more, go to drstephensimpson.com.